very thrilled that we are here at the last performance or ritual of our evening. So if you could put the slide up, thank you. So I'm going to invite Maribel Martinez up here to present Two Spirit, a multimedia theatrical performance. Maribel, no pronouns, we are using Maribel's name. So Maribel is a queer Chicanx of Purupecha heritage, brainiac, storyteller, and dream warrior from East San Jose, California. Please give a round of applause. This is amazing, thank you. Maribel shapeshifts between public policy, higher education, and the arts. And there is so much in this bio. Maribel is a member of the Macondo Writers Workshop, Califas en Comunidad Writers Group, so many writers group, La Peña's Hybrid Performance Experiment Ensemble. There's so much. Please talk to Maribel after this and get Maribel's contact. They also have amazing jewelry that we talked about earlier. Maribel's short play, Out for Finals, was part of the San Jose City College inaugural Playwrights Festival in 2024. And Maribel is also published in Mujeres de Maíz en Movimiento, East Side Magazine, Journal X, and Beyond Queer Words, Queer Anthology. So I'm very excited. Please give it up for Maribel Martinez.
Theater folks, we need props, we need sound, we need lights. We're needy. So I'm going to do this as like a little hybrid of a stage reading, some movement performance. We'll do a little bit of a setup. Thank you for your patience.
By being two-spirit, I feel like my gender is the sand dunes that I recall from Chihuahua and Samalayuca. To be two-spirit is to have the, Rio Santa Isabel, a brown river just flowing in my body.
I say two-spirit. I was like, this is interesting. I was like, that to be two-spirit means to have responsibility.
When I introduce myself, I use the term Noplehe, which is my tribe's term for people like me. That's good. Two-spirit person, what two-spirit means. You can get a whole dissertation.
We all have a story of how we came to be two-spirit, a calling, a reclaiming, putting together the pieces of self. My parents were born in Mexico. My grandfathers crossed the US border as braceros, 6 months here, 6 months on the other side working the land. At home we spoke Spanish, English at school. When we got sick de empacho, we went to see a sobadora. When the babies were little, we tied red strings to prevent mal de ojo, put red sashes around pregnant bellies on full moons, and did limpias with an egg for susto. And at the sign of illness, a tea. My mom kept a dream journal, and we would interpret together. Teeth falling out, anxiety. Rain, good, it's cleansing. Spiders, means new connections. I grew up in San Jose. Some say the South Bay doesn't exist, but I know it does. I see the water from the top of Mount Hamilton on a clear day. Some pieces come easy, others take time. As a kid, my parents were undocumented, and in high school was the year Prop 187 passed here in California. It called for the denial of services to illegal immigrants. Now that is something that doesn't exist. No human is illegal on stolen land, and Mexicans are from this continent. But here we are again. In '95, the movie Mi Familia, My Family, came out in the theaters, and we were feeling our Chicano selves. And it was the first time I heard Mire.
Rosa de Castilla, tu enganchas estás y tu engancha en Rosa de Castilla. Tantiarico armale para no caras como es Florentí.
I had never heard that song before, but it was as if I'd known it all my life. Pedacitos of memory, constellations of self appearing. In college, I learned that Mexicans were Spanish and indigenous, that anti-indigenous mindsets were prominent in Mexico. They didn't create reservations like they did in the US. They invented mestizaje to erase indigeneity and under-resourced communities, starve them to death, strip the land, and murder the leaders. Indigenous. But my dad kept talking about his European heritage. Yet his mother, my grandmother, her hair in 2 long braids with her rebozo, the skin color of bronzed earth. Dad, what are we? Purepecha? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you want to learn the language? Why did I not know she was a curandera? I did a DNA test, of course. I was not going to be one of those, you know? One of those that repeat a family story without interrogating it. I told my maternal grandmother, and she said, "That's me. Somos indios. We have been on this land for a long time." And from deep within her armoire, she pulled out colorful, embroidered fabrics and told stories. The pieces connecting like stars that exist without seeing them. She was the one who dreamt and talked to spirits. She was the one who told me she loved me when I came out to her. A first star, a creation story. In the beginning, I called myself bisexual. I was attracted to the combination of soft and hard, long-haired, curvy emo boys, women hard with slick back ponytails. But more than that, even as a kid, I felt different. I was never a girly girl, but not a boy either. And then puberty changed my body. Boobs got bigger, my hair more attainable, and it grew under my arms, on my legs, and I loved the smell of my new body. And when my moon came, I thought it was magic. My friend Yossi told me he was two-spirit, and he was brown and Mexican, detribalized. Twinkling stars mirror and reflect light. One Mother's Day, I was walking with my little niece Yolo Itani through the Stanford powwow. She's my niece by college, and by that I mean her mom and I went to school together and we're related in that way. Yolo and I had our naming ceremonies together, and as we passed by the tables, she asked me, "Tia, are you two spirits?" Before my brain could comprehend what was being asked, Spirit answered, "Yes, I am." And that was it. Spirit always gets its way, moves us out of our own way, and I can be so many things all at once. Queer, dyke, indigiqueer, gender expansive, and two-spirit. Constellations move and change over time. I have been in conversation with other two-spirit relatives, shared parts of our story, so much in common, including this. Those of us around in 2009, we all watched it. Bought the DVD, cried, mourned, and learned so much from Freddie Martinez. Much like I think we and this generation are mourning next Benedict. They are bright lights, even in the darkness. We have been in ceremony with ourselves, planted seeds, watched flowers bloom, and challenged elders stuck in colonized ways. It has been a journey, a calling, a reclaiming, the piecing together of who we are.
Figuring myself out, I guess I would say I didn't realize I was trans or two-spirit until I was like well into my 30s, so.
Like, I also feel like gravitated toward this term, so how can it not be a Navajo?
It feels like I'm like a fully embodied energy.
There's a certain amount of seeing that's required, I think.
And then I read that it was more of a pan-native movement, right, to revitalize these ways, to give life back into these words, to these identities.
Community is like a fusion of energy,
and I'm just like, wow, so this is what being two-spirit is. It's about community, it's about family, it's about tradition. It was like a revelation.
Always learning, building and rebuilding, remembering who we are, who we've always been. Two-spirit.
Like from the south, you see two-spirit magnificence, you see it in the art, you see it in language, you see it in so many things that two-spirit people have done in our culture.
So many people, asking people, they're walking into different dimensions, different worlds of people.
If I wish and pray for the acceptance of two-spirit people.
Don't be visionary because they bring it to us, so we should not be visionaries to each other, and these spaces and beyond.
In the beginning, nothing existed. It was total darkness. Everything was a great circle without beginning, without end. I am from where the water and the sky meet, two-place space. Earth and sky like fire and water that come together to form the sacred steam.
My message to the community is that I challenge the fact that don't have two-spirit roles and they're not trying to proclaim one.
I'm curious about belonging. How do we belong to each other?
They don't fall into these traps of who is more indigenous, who is more two-spirit.
How can we be in flesh?
So we just be community and enjoy each other. It's beyond us, beyond our egos. It's something larger.
To be two-spirit is to like be able to hear the wind and like connecting with my elders through the rustling of leaves.
Always learning, building and rebuilding, remembering who we are, who we have always